Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being.
Well, aren't we feeling romantic this morning? So, happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody is keeping well, keeping their chins up, and absolutely feeling really positive during this lockdown. So, listen, let's get the introductions out there. Who's watching? Where are you watching from? And listen, what is the weather like? Because I have to say, in Dublin this morning, we haven't had it in ages, but the weather is pure shite in Dublin, I have to say. When I say it's lashing rain, it's peeing rain, it's raining cats and dogs. You know the way you wouldn't put your dog out in it. So it's pure shite weather in Dublin. So what's the weather like around the country? And obviously, if we have people watching in from Australia and New Zealand and Africa and America, and the weather is probably fabulous where you are, make us all mad jealous and let us know what sort of weather have you got. So have we anyone watching, Deirdre? How's
There's a
getting
few
on?
people watching in, yes.
Brilliant.
And yeah, on all chat. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook.
So you got them all going this morning
them all
at
going.
the same time. Was it the music helped you
I
this
think it was
morning,
the music
Deirdre?
help. I
The
feel it was
music
feeling
helped
the
this
love,
morning.
feeling the
Okay,
love.
feeling the love this morning. So as you can see, we're feeling the love this morning and want to do a couple of very, very simple Valentine arrangements, okay? Not sure how many I'm going to get done. So listen, we're going to play it by ear.
Okay, so we have a couple of weather forecasts coming in here.
Okay.
Just very quickly. Vicky is in Australia and it should be summer and she says it's pure shite.
Pure shite in Australia. What part of Australia, Vicky?
Did she tell me? She did. Melbourne, she's
Melbourne.
watching in
Oh,
from.
okay.
Trisha is watching in and it's pure shite as well. It's
You're
raining
brilliant.
in Donabate, but it's sunny in Wexford. Millie over on Instagram said it's,
Okay.
oh, somebody's saying it's lovely in Donegal. Donegal is always shite.
No, we're shite in Donegal.
And it's beautiful down in Kerry. So
There you go. So there's the weather forecast around Ireland and Australia. So what have we planned today? We have lots of giveaways, okay? We'll move these boxes out of the way, but I just want you, I'm going to use one of the larger hat boxes today. And just last Friday, I did use one of the hat boxes in case anybody thinks it was the same one. So it's a different size that I'm using today. So I'm going to use the larger size, okay? Giveaways, what have we got? So we have these fabulous hats from
for,
Howick
for the
Flowers.
shite weather.
For the shite weather, you know, these are really kind of more spring. And it's first of spring on Monday, 1st of February, right? And these will be ideal. And they're definitely our colour. You know us for the bit of pink. So we have these fabulous blush pink hats. Ideal for a florist because it says flower power on them. And there's also a little pair of mitts, okay? So we have 3 of them. Now, last week we left YouTube out, Deirdre. You had nothing for YouTube,
no.
okay? So we have to have whoever on YouTube gives the best weather forecast.
Yeah.
That deserves a hat, they're obviously going to get a hat. And we'll also have a hat then for Facebook and also for Instagram, okay? So start commenting, tell us what the weather's like. And we pick whoever has the shittest weather definitely is going to get the hats. That's the easiest way to sort that out. What else have we got to give away? Last week we had a box of chocolates and we have another box of them outdoor, am I pronouncing it right? Outdoor chocolates. Michael Donovan, he has sent us, remember last week he sent us on a couple of them. So we're going to give away another box of these this week. I'm going to use one in the flower arrangement. So his phone number, if anyone wants to contact him, is 086 23 13 474. Chances are Michael is watching and he'll probably post that in the comments. So if there is any flower shops, or to be honest, any business, you know that way, that is looking to maybe stock chocolates. These chocolates are absolutely fabulous. You know that way, he stocks a lot of flower shops around the country and they're also an ideal gift. So get in contact with Michael and you can organise that. Now, what I'm going to get is to do, to pick a winner for this box of chocolates. Now don't move now, stay here, that I have you here, right? So this is on Instagram. I have these for Instagram. I want you to go over to Outdoor page. I'll get Janette to tag it, okay, in the comments below. And maybe Michael, you might be there and you might maybe put up a link or tag your page as well. And you go over and you comment under the last post in his grid. Say something really nice. Say that Case Flower School sent you over. And on Monday, Michael will pick a winner. But listen, he also sent out this massive big bag. Now, I would absolutely love to taste these. But I know if I open this bag, which first of all with COVID we wouldn't be able to send them out to you if we opened them, and then I know we'll start picking at them, you know that way, and then there'll be no bag of sweets. But these are coffee milk chocolates. Oh my god, like I absolutely love coffee. So tell you what, whoever wins these, send us back one in an envelope. Actually send 2 so that Deirdre can taste them as well, because I know myself, if I open them I'm going to just eat them. But imagine a whole kilo bag of these coffee creams, okay? So they're getting sent out to somebody as well. So are we going to give these away maybe on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure. Michael, have you got a Facebook page? Maybe you can comment over on the Facebook page and let us know. But I tell you what the Facebook ones, go over to Instagram later on, okay? Go over to Instagram and again, just say that you're coming from the Facebook competition and I'll get them to pick 2 winners,
Exactly,
okay?
yeah.
Probably the handiest thing to do. And then last week, God, we got lots of giveaways to give out this week because last week, do you remember Rona Cullihan, the Journey Skincare Beauty Care? Do you remember the lovely fabulous gift set that we had for people that were going through cancer? And we were slagging and talking about the magnetic false eyelashes, you know that way? And there was a set in the kit that we sent out, but Deirdre was nearly going to skive them, she was, because she wanted them for herself, she did. But fair play to Rona, she actually sent out 2 sets this week. Probably one was for me and one was for Deirdre, but I couldn't wear anything like that. I can't put anything near my eyes. So we have another set of the false eyelashes and the obviously the magnetic liner, and the best thing to do is go over and follow Rona's page, and she does lots of demonstrations how to use them. There's a few little information leaflets, and there's 3 pairs of the false eyelashes, okay? So where are we giving these away on?
Let me see, because I actually haven't told Ron that we're giving them away, so she probably hasn't got a post up to give them away. I tell you what she could do is she has actually set up a new YouTube channel, and go over and comment on her new video on our YouTube channel. It's called Rona's Weight Loss Journey.
Okay, so Rona is actually going to go under one of these weight loss operations, a gastric band or a gastric sleeve. I'm not sure which one she's going for, but she's actually going to what would you call it, journalise it, you know the way, basically show it like from start to finish, the good to the bad and the ugly, the guts, the stitches and whatever else.
I'll post her link in the comments.
So Deirdre will post a link in the comments, and what you can do is you can pop over to Rona's page, wish her the very, very best of luck. I'm not sure what, I think she's going in a week or 2.
No, she's not going in the summer.
Alright, okay, so we've ages. So you can pop over, wish her the very best of luck on her journey, okay, where her weight loss journey, and what we'll do is we get Rona to pick out the winner then for the eyelashes. So I think that's all we have to give away today. We'll probably give away one of these because we're going to be using these.
Yeah.
So these are ourselves. We use these here at the school. They're called Crystal Accents or Crystal Earth, but people call them Swell Gel as well. So basically what you do is you mix them with water. The directions is on the packet. Now we do have these for sale on our website. I've only a few of them in stock at the moment, but I'm going to give one of these away. I think Sinead is sending people over from Twitter. So if we do have anybody that's watching us and you're normally a Twitter follower, well maybe go over to Twitter and follow us on Case Flower School, put a comment up, and I'll get Sinead to pick a winner. We don't have that many followers on Twitter, so that should be easy enough. So basically, how do we use it? You mix it with water, okay? And this is what you get, is this kind of like jelly sort of effect. So I have these, they're just fishbowl containers, and now I bought these in the Flower Wholesalers, but to be honest, there's a bit of green leaf gone in there with them. You can get these in IKEA. Now somebody was saying to me the other day about IKEA, you can get them online. We're getting loads of stuff sent out from IKEA online. So I know you can't go to IKEA at the moment, but just order online and they'll send it out to you. So basically that's where I've put it into, see the goldfish bowl. And you can also, like, I have a smaller goldfish bowl. Now that was out of the wholesalers. I'm not sure if they have that size in IKEA. They definitely have the larger one, okay? And also, so you know me for a gin and tonic, okay? So this is just basically a gin glass from the house. Oh God, I'm making the right recipe here. So it's just to kind of show you how you can use it like in containers. And what you need to do next, and I haven't got a bottle of water beside me, is you top it up with a little bit of water, because the idea is that you're going to actually feed your flowers, you know the way that they're going to be able to drink water. And then if you get yourself some bear grass, so hopefully you can see this, I presume they can see it here,
yeah.
So what you're going to do is get some bear grass, or to be honest, any sort of decorative grass, and I have got it in here, any sort of decorative grasses that you have, and I'll just move that over to one side. So you get the grass, you stick it down into the fish bowl, and you see the way you can bring it around to the inside of it. Now this would also be ideal, this one's a bit crooked, so I'm going to take that one out altogether. This would be beautiful for like a wedding table arrangement as well. And with weddings at the moment, And I actually know of a couple of people that are getting married and they're having like the party kind of as in their house. Now, obviously, they're keeping it to 6 people as well. Do you know that way? And only from 1 or 2 families. But you know yourself, is just to have something cheap or, you know, to decorate that's not going to cost an awful lot of money. Or what about even for Valentine's night yourself, which is going to be a Sunday night, and you'd like to have a romantic meal. I see a lot of the restaurants are advertising where you can order the dinner and you can either make it yourself. I see there's lots of companies that's doing that. I was saying that to my son the other night, and he says who'd be interested in buying the dinner and making it themselves. But anyway, you could get the dinner sent out to you, made up already. And would it be nice to have a nice flower arrangement on the counter? But maybe you don't know how to do flower arrangements, so this would be an ideal sort of display. Now, I don't have any water in the end of this bowl because I forgot to bring in a bottle of water with me when I was doing it. But you get the idea. Can you see the way, just push that grass down there because it's a bit messy. Can you see the idea of where you can do the bare grass, you see around the inside of it, and then you can just kind of get your fingers and you can kind of like spread out the grass, you know, that way, and you can spend a lot more time doing it than I'm doing it. And then if you're breaking a rose, because this normally what happens in flower shops is that you break a rose by accident, you know that way. So you just have a short like rose head, is that you can just sit it down. I'm just going to pretend that I broke it even shorter, and you can just stick it down into the centre and it looks like a floating rose. Can you see it there in on the crystals? Now there is no water in that, but I am going to top it up with water.
Okay, just a couple of questions. Do flower shops sell bare grass?
Yep. So this is what a bunch would look like. So that's a bunch of bare grass, right? It lasts for absolutely ages. It's not that expensive. So if you went into a flower shop, they would just pull a certain amount out of the bunch and they would sell it to you, you know, that way. But you know, in your garden you might have some cordyline leaves. Has anybody got any cordyline trees in their garden? I'll bring some in. I have some at home myself. I'll bring some in and I'll show them to you. But what I often do is I strip it up with my nails, and we've plenty of nails now at the moment. I strip it up and I make little skinny kind of like pieces out of it. If anybody has the flax, you know, the euphorbium flax. Again, if anybody's there, they're good with the Googling, they might Google a photograph of it and stick it up for me. And they're absolutely, them leaves is you could do the exact same effect with the flax leaves or with the cordyline leaves, is that you could strip them up and you get, it's not exactly the same, but listen, it does the job. It's absolutely perfect.
Janette Water says her partner is going to do the cooking, so she'll do something nice for the table.
Absolutely. And post up your address, Janette, is it?
Yeah.
Post up your address, Janette, there, and we'll all come.
Trey Smith.
My husband likes a steak like
medium. Yeah. Trey Smith says fabulous that she sees that type of thing in a hotel, and now she knows how to do
these
it.
in hotels, you know that way, and they're so effective, and as I said, they are so easy to make, you know that way. So maybe, as I said, if you hadn't got the bare grass, you could use your cordyline or your flax leaves. So again, that's just to kind of, in the smaller one, again, you can spend more time, do you know that way? Like I'm kind of like, well, I'm covering myself by saying I'm rushing here because it's a little bit untidy, but you're getting the effect of it, okay? So that's in the little small one. And again, I have actually a small rug. And again, you can put it down into the centre of it, into the centre, get in there, into the centre. So that's it done. Do you see, like with the little baby rose? So they're the short stem roses. So during the week, I gave a little top tip tutorial here on the case page about the large headed roses and the small headed roses and kind of showing the difference of it. But there you go. There's two very kind of like simple arrangements, you know, like using our goldfish bowls. But also using our gin glass, you know, that way. So I'm just going to cut the grasses.
And everyone has a gin glass.
Everyone has it. And these are out of IKEA, these gin glasses. So when you're on ordering your goldfish bowls, you could get your gin glasses as well. So again, just get another little bit of grass here for myself.
They're all saying they're loving it. They're saying it's so easy and elegant to do. It's something that you could do at home.
And do you know what? Like
somebody's asking where would they get the swell gel.
Well, we would have it here for sale on the website. I'm just out of it. I'm waiting on a new delivery to come in from the UK, which was supposed to be on the way. And they just rang us before we came on live to say that it actually went back to them because they hadn't filled in the custom forms. So this is going to be typical kind of Brexit now, I think, kind of for a while. So we will have it, but like when it comes, I'm not too sure. But maybe there's flower shops out there have it for sale, or garden centres.
Of Stores On, he's just left a comment, said you can win the chocolates by either commenting on their Facebook page or their Instagram page.
Brilliant.
So,
Okay. So later on, you can have a look at that, and you can find it. So there you go. Can you see the grass is coming around the gin glass? Because the gin glass doesn't come in like the way the goldfish bowl kind of comes in narrower at the top, you will find it'll kind of slip out a little bit, but that's fine.
Vicky V says she's having a gin and tonic at the moment, but it is 10:10 in the evening in Australia. Somebody says about colouring could you colour the...
You can buy it coloured as well. I think we actually have it in colours. I'm not too sure.
I might have a couple of half packets,
You can mix, like, say, food dye into the water that you're making the swell gel with, and it'll take on that colour. So I've just put a small rose in that, and because Vicky has just made me jealous, well, Vicky, we have our little shot of Hendrix here as well, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the rose over to one side. I'm going to put in my little bottle of Hendrix, and Jesus, wouldn't I love me fella now if he came home with something like that for me? Like, talk about the perfect present. Flowers and drink. Now, once he had a bigger bottle of Hendrix as well for me. So there you go. That's just kind of like very, very simple arrangements, okay? Just as a little warm-up. Now, listen, I hope you are all clicking share. No point in me coming on here now if there's nobody clicking share for me. Like, let's get the word out there. So what am I going to do next?
Sorry, just Anne was saying that she keeps her gel, like the swell gel, in a sealed container to use it again and again.
Absolutely. And you can sieve it as well. You know, like as in put it in like we call it a colander, and like sieve it, you know, the way, a little bit of domestic.
And it'll be grand.
And it'll be grand, as we say. I was laughing at Deirdre put a post up, I think it was yesterday morning or the evening before, and it was all the things that typically Irish people say, like about the immersion, or no matter what happens, if your leg falls off, she'll be grand, you know the way, or things that we say, put the Delft in the press, and the Americans are all saying, what in the name of God are you talking about? Or the other thing was, I'm going to the shop to get the messages. Or you lose anything, you say the prayer to St. Anthony, and when the leaving cert results come out, the granny is lighting the candle. And these are all things that we just relate to, and it's just so normal. And it's just when you see it all in writing, you say, oh my God, like it's so funny, you know. So, go on.
Despite dispose of in the garden, not down the drains or the sink, it's actually better to let it dehydrate and then dispose of it in your bin.
Yeah, so when you let it dehydrate, it'll go back into the kind of like little sugar, kind of like small little crystals again. So, like the vase I had, where they go, like that vase was filled up to about there, you know, that way, out of that one bag of crystals, just to kind of give you an idea how much it swells up. But once it dries out, it'll actually go back into the crystal form again. So this with the bigger box, and again, do I need a turntable or am I okay?
No, I think you're fine, yeah.
I have put some dry oasis, as you can see there, just into the bottom of it. And this time I'm using one of the, I don't turn this on the side, I'll drown myself, but can you see the way it's a slightly larger bulk bowl? And last week, like I put a half a block of foam into this one. This week I kind of have, it's a little bit wedged in there, kind of fairly tight. It's kind of pushed it a little bit out of shape, but it'll still fit in. I tried it in advance, so I know I'm going to be grand. So I know I'm going to be grand. It's fast the way we use these words, isn't it? I can't see the anchor tape in front of me, but I'll probably manage without it. But 2/3 or 3/4 of a block of foam, you know what I mean, wedged down into it, and then that'll sit down. And to be honest, if you had some anchor tape, put some anchor tape across it, just to be on the safe side.
To be sure.
To be feckin' well sure. So, again, last week we used these chocolates, and because outdoors, giving the chocolates away again, you can see the way I've just put 2, we call them waxing sticks, okay? So I put 2 waxing sticks at the back of this. Well, lots of people posted last week to tell me that Mr. Price has large lollipop sticks for kids doing art and crafts. I think they put up the price, I think it was €2 or €1.
Yeah.
It was really cheap anyway, and somebody even posted a photograph of it. So that's basically what, it's just sellotaped to the back of the box of chocolates, just so that I can insert them down. Well, obviously, we're going to be celebrating if you're madly in love, okay, and you're feeling really romantic. He could go to Lidl or Aldi, and he could buy a small bottle, or she can buy a bottle of Prosecco, you know what I mean? So again, can you see around the end of the bottle of Prosecco, I've just put the lollipop sticks on again there, and again, I'm just sticking that down into it. And then we have our lid, just to kind of finish it off, and you can see the lid, the way I have the lollipop stick sellotaped on, and I'm just going to bring that down the back there. And it might look a little bit messy at the back at the moment, but I'll fix all that.
Just turn it around just to show it on this side.
Just turn it around there. This is where I'm missing the turntable. Actually, I'm going to put, I'll leave that one. No, will I bring it?
Eileen says $1.50 for the sticks and deals.
Brilliant. I knew somebody had posted there for me last week. So there we go. So there's our lid, just into the back of it. And as I said, I'll cover that all in with a little bit of greenery. So this, now this was the biggest hat, the biggest hat box I had in red. here today. But if you had even a bigger hat box, you know what I mean, you could obviously put a lot
Bigger
more,
bottle of champagne.
Well, we did have a bigger bottle. We love our Prosecco here as well. So we did have a bigger bottle, but it was too big, obviously, for the hat box. And Deirdre happened to have, like, Deirdre loves them small bottles because she often says herself, and you just love a glass of Prosecco, but it's a waste to open. If I'm not there, it's a waste to open the big one. So she buys them little small bottles. So that's how we happen to have one of them. So now I have some greenery, probably a turntable would be handy, Deirdre,
Yep.
just so that I can spin this. See, just there in the corner. So what I have greenery-wise is some silver Sussex. Again, you probably know if you follow me, I love the silver Sussex. Just think it's a great foliage, and it lasts for absolutely ages. My lid is falling over there. Do you know what's happening is the tape is coming off, and I'll get you to fix that up for me there, and I can put it back in. So what I'm going to do here in the front is I'm going to go around the edge of the container, the floral foam, okay? And just have the greenery, you see, coming out over the edge of it. And this will kind of give the impression that it's a little bit bigger for me, right? So I have all the pieces of silver Sussex cut up. They're kind of like random lengths, you know, that way people always say, well, like what length? Like, you know what I mean, I could have a piece that size and I could have a piece that, well, that one's nearly the same. And I could have one that's a little bit longer, you know the way, I'm not kind of like real fussy, but I suppose you could say 18 to 20 centimetres. You know that way, if you're looking for a measurement, roughly 18 to 20 centimetres is what I've done. So just coming around the edge of it, keeping it down as low as possible on the floral foam, and then it's kind of like resting over the edge of the bulb bowl that's in there, but also coming over the edge of the lip of the red box, okay? So just turn this around to you now, just a second, just to let you see kind of how that's going. And while you're looking at the front then, I can kind of do kind of something similar around the back. So what you have,
Well, Tricia
now.
Kenny is slandering me here at the moment. She says, bet Deirdre carried them in her bag for the pub.
Which
The Prosecco.
Oh, bring your own
Bring
into the pub.
BYOB, that's another Irish thing. BYOB, bring your own booze.
Bring your own beers, bring your own beer. I'm back into the same spot that I was. Do you know, I don't want to move the chocolates. I probably have the chocolates a little bit too far forward, and that's what's causing the problem with the lid. I haven't really got enough room there, but it's in now. I'm leaving it there. I'm not going to take it. And I won't be transporting it, so it'll be absolutely fine. But if you were transporting it, you know, way, I'd probably have to take the chocolate out, just move them forward, just a tiny little bit more, just to give me a little bit of space. Your other option is leave the lid out altogether. And what you normally do with the lid, if you're not going to use it as part of the arrangement, is you put the box sitting in the open lid. You know that way when you're sending it out. And that way then, the customer, the client who actually receives the flowers, when everything is gone, she still has the lid to put back on the box then to use it for keeping mementos in, lipsticks, toilet rolls, cotton buds, you know yourself, you know that way. Any kids that have like small little kind of, I don't know, do they still have Polly Pockets that used to be out years ago for keeping kind of like small items in? So you can see the way I'm just kind of like a little bit of greenery around the back there, and now kind of in the front, I'm going to add in another little bit of greenery in the front.
Kat is watching in from England and she says she loves your demos.
Hey, Kat.
Helen O'Brien said, what a fabulous idea for a hat box it is.
Like
What
it
could
is.
you use instead of silver Sussex, Janette?
Eucalyptus, pittosporum, wild ivy out of the garden would be fine. And you know, one of our students over in the Bloom Room, Carmel is her name, so maybe she's watching here, I can't remember your surname. She had a fabulous little hat box that she got in deals the other day. I think 169, I can't remember. But it was in the shape of a heart. I think it was 6 inches wide, I'm not too sure. Carmel, are you watching? Or if one of my Bloom Room students are watching, any chance of you posting up a photograph? Because I know you had it there, you had. Post up a photograph of the little heart that they had, it's the hat box that they had in deals. Stick it up there, I'd love to see it. So I'm just going to get another little bit of greenery here.
Vicky was saying, what about a magnum of champagne or
That's
Prosecco?
even better. Listen, just give me
the
magnum.
box.
Forget about the hat box. Forget about the chocolates. Just give us the bottle. I'd be absolutely delighted with that.
Juan is on. Hi, girls. She loves this idea.
Hi, Juan. How are
Bernie
you?
Hurley doesn't believe that you have a bin on the floor behind you, Janette.
I have today, Bernie. Absolutely have today. Look, there's a load of iris there getting thrown out. I bought them iris in the other day to, well, actually bought them in last Friday, so they're a week old today. I only get a week out of them. Was to show people like what they look like when they're tight. I'm just cutting up a little bit of eucalyptus here for filling in. And it was just to show you the little tricks on how to get the iris open. So if you missed that during the week, there's a video posted on the page, and the heading is, are you a flicker or a blower, you know that way. So have a look at it. It's great gas, but just showing you like little tricks how to get the how to get the iris open. And it's like most people were absolutely amazed they hadn't actually seen that little trick before. So just here in the front, I'm just adding a little bit of eucalyptus. Somebody was asking what else could they use, so you can see there the eucalyptus is fine. And I probably could do a little bit more filling in the back, but we're kind of running short of time. So rather than me cutting up more foliage, I'm going to move on to the roses, okay? So I know I have a few little gaps there. Now these roses are still the red Naomi roses that I bought in last week. And that'll just kind of show you how long they last. So you know when I talk about buying in good roses, you just cannot beat them, you know that way. So they're actually more than a week old.
They're more than a week.
Because we got the delivery, was it Tuesday night or Wednesday night?
Tuesday night.
A week ago.
A week ago, yeah. So
last Tuesday was 7, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're on 10 days old already. Do you know that way? So like they're just amazing. Now again, you can remove the guard petals, which I haven't done.
Yep.
So around all roses, you'll always have 2 or 3 kind of marked petals coming up around the edges.
can you turn that to the side and work on it at the side? It's just we can't see anything you're doing behind all the chocolates
so
and.
I'm gonna go this way here.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Yeah.
So let me see, just turn that.
Yeah.
This side. There we go. Can you see that better
Yeah,
now?
perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Gorgeous. Really hard to get hat boxes at the moment. Anyone else finding that?
Yeah. Now, there is a company that supplies like flower shops with them. Floral Box is his name. Michael and Floral Box is the name of the company. Michael is his name. He's down in Galway. So, but you have to buy in bulk, and there obviously is minimum quantities. So it's really only for flower shops. It's not really for anybody that's just kind of like doing a little bit at home themselves. Did they post up the box out deals yet?
Somebody is saying red heart boxes in Poundland.
Okay. Have you got a photograph? Any chance of posting?
Do you know what? Seriously, if you had absolutely nothing at home, you know the roses boxes that the roses the chocolate boxes,
yeah.
And spray it
Well,
black.
we did have a roses box here the other day.
We did, yeah. And
Mr. K came over to clean up, and the box of roses is vanished. So if Mr. K is watching, because he's supposed to be on the diet, I'm just wondering, where did you put the box of chocolates? Because I was having a little sneaky nibble out of myself, I was. And I was putting the lid back on, like not pretending that I had opened it. So I've 5 roses in there so far. This is going to bring it to 6.
So just go on. Yeah, Rona Cullinan is actually watching in at the moment now. She just gave us a wave on Instagram. So Rona, we're giving away one of your eyelashes today that you sent me. You sent me 2 packets. Thank you so much. I kept one. And we're giving away the other ones. And I have posted the link to your new YouTube channel. So we've asked people to go over and comment on your new YouTube video on your YouTube channel. So again, post it up there on Facebook for us if you want. And you might pick a winner from that for me to post them, just so you can
leave it till Monday to get a few to make a chance. Yeah. To kind of
somebody, Eileen is saying she used a Paul Costello candle box.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, and that would look nice and posh. But you know what would be a brilliant one? The Joe Malone box.
Yeah.
If anybody got a gift at Christmas of the Joe Malone, you know the gorgeous box that they come in. But you listen, see the post office box there, Deirdre?
Yeah.
Give us that up there for a second. You all have the kids at home homeschooling. What about getting one of the post office boxes and covering it in wrapping paper? You know, like nice paper, maybe some even red tissue paper, craft paper, or whatever. Like you could wrap up a box nicely, and you could actually, you know what I mean, that would do fine. At the end of the day, this is just a cardboard box that happens to have that happens to be red. You know what I mean? That's already kind of like painted the red.
Who said, Emer said she has to go. Will it be saved? Yes, they'll all be saved. They'll be on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. What was the question? Oh, Janette, your jumper. Loads of questions coming in. Where did you get your jumper and the matching headband? Are you going to tell them about the headband? Because Spicy B has just shared it on.
Okay, well, first of all, the hairband. Now, some of you might like this, what I'm going to tell you, okay? The hairband is actually a pair of tights from Christmas. I swear to God, it's one of the legs of a pair of tights. Now, they're clean, okay? I had worn them a couple of times, but they were clean. And I was looking for a red hairband this morning, and I hadn't got one. So I had seen on Instagram or Facebook, somebody had this little hack, you know the way. So they cut the leg off the pair of tights. I still have the other leg, so I can make, if anyone wants another leg, I'll give it to you for free.
We'll do it as a prize.
And obviously I have a nice pair of like warm knickers now left over. I cut the toe out of it. So that's obviously, that part might be up near the arse of the tight, and that was the toe of the tight. I tied them into a knot, and and I made myself a hairband this morning. So that's where the hairband was. So I want my bow over to the side. I got it on nice again.
Yeah.
There you go. So listen, if you have any tights in all the different colours, you know, the way I thought it was a great hat. The jumper I seen on Instagram during the week, I kept the
Here we
little
go.
tag there. Deirdre's going to hold it up there kind of in front of it. Oh, I think it was like 16 or 18 euros. I just said, God, like that was so cheap. And I said, wouldn't that be great for doing the Valentine demos? I just thought it was nice. And you know what? At the moment, you know, you're in the house and all you want is something comfy for going around. And I thought just that was a
Marie Irvine said, waste not, want not, recycling at the best.
So just to kind of show you there, like that's the kind of there with our couple of roses into it. How many have I got in there? I was counting them down. You start talking about the tights. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've 9. We could put one more into the back. You know that way it's 10. You're not really going to get the dozen roses into that, but I suppose you could squash them in if you wanted to. Now what I'm going to do next then is maybe like a little bit of jip going in and out through it. And I forgot to bring the jip in.
And while you're gone, oh,
Don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in.
That wasn't supposed to come on.
I was going to say, was that not supposed to? Just while you're on there, while you're cutting up the jip there, I'm going to call out our winners.
How
So,
about the winners
our
of the-
hat winners.
Oh, our hat winners. Oh, very
So
good.
on Instagram for the best weather forecast was Grateful 25.7. You were telling us that the clouds was touching your nose or something like that. So you're the winner of the weather forecast, and the hat send us a PM, DM, and we'll
Yes, get them out. And they're all huge thanks to Hoek Flowers, or Hoek
Hoek,
Flowers, which
Hoek.
is the Dutch pronunciation. I always call it Hoek Flowers. And like I have to say, they're absolutely gorgeous, and they are great for anybody that's in a flower shop. You know the way they keep you warm, and the gloves are fingerless, so that you can.
because I actually saw somebody said that the gloves would be great for people with Reynards.
Yeah, absolutely, they would.
On Facebook, our winner is Eileen Pollard. Bloody shite weather in Dublin. So
That's Eileen Dempsey Pollard, is that her?
I don't know, Eileen Pollard, yeah.
Eileen Pollard down in Cork Street. Her son runs the gym. That's
Oh, right, okay,
it's
right,
the
right.
same Eileen,
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
And on YouTube, our winner is Jennifer Morgan. So, Jennifer Morgan, and I can't remember, you did say about the shite weather as well. Rebecca Gibson is telling us here, we use old tights as hairbands in school and bobbins so they don't rip your hair. There you go.
And you know what the other great thing about it is, sometimes I find when I'm not even wearing a hairband all day, you kind of get that tension, you know, like just, you know, in that part of your hair, if it's tight. This is so soft. It's really
Jesus,
easy.
Janette, we're getting loads of tight things. Geraldine says, I saw a demonstrator putting a leg of a back pair of tights on a glass vase one time. Very effective. So there you go.
Google it there and put the link up for us. I'd love to
What
see
can
that.
you do with a leg of tights?
Because I have one spare leg. So listen, you never know for next week what the arrangements might be.
Somebody come on there. She says this is our first time watching. She says news are hilarious. We don't actually
You
mean
never know what's going to come out, what we're going to come out with.
and that is actually very true, because unfortunately we don't have a mute button on this side, and when I know she's going to say something I can't mute her. But thankfully, if anybody does find anything we say offensive, you can mute her on your side,
On your side, absolutely.
because we don't mean to be offensive
So
at all.
absolutely, we definitely don't mean to be offensive. So my lid is a little bit buckety, you know, that it's gone off to the west or whatever, but I don't want to move it around too much because we're live here and I don't want the feckin' oasis to fall apart. But we could leave the lid out altogether. But isn't that a gorgeous little gift, you know, that way to give to your loved one. And remember, like Valentine's Day this year, they're also calling it Galentine's Day. So it's not just from the romantic point, you know what I mean? It could be for someone else. What way are we for time?
I just because we did say we would do the single
The
rose.
single rose, okay. So I have hopefully they can see the table because I need the table kind of clean. Deirdre will check the camera now in a second. So to make the single rose, what you need is cellophane, okay? And you can get biodegradable cellophane because I know a lot of people mightn't be into kind of plastic, so it is possible to get a biodegradable cellophane. And this can also be done in craft paper, like brown paper. Now I do understand, like we do have a video of this that maybe we might post during the week, Deirdre. Because we're doing this as a live demo, Deirdre can't really move the cameras to come in close or to show you from a different angle what I'm going to do. And if she moves one phone, because we're on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, it'll cause a little bit of a dilemma. But I do have another video that we will post up and that you can see it in closer detail.
Victoria 31550 is over on Instagram, and she says, I missed the start, but I will be watching later. You're amazing. My husband is saying again, this voice.
You know, I remember a few years ago, I was actually in Marks and Spencer's, and I was with my mum, and we were looking at something or whatever, and we were chatting away to each other, and somebody came over to me and she says, you have to be your one off the flex school, she said. So I can imagine now, you know, the way everybody's just kind of getting to listen to me online. So anyway, the roll of cellophane went a bit crooked. So you open out your cellophane on your table. Our table is white, so well, it's a dirty white at the moment, so it's probably awkward for you to see. But listen, bear with me, I do have a close-up video of this showing a lot more detail, and I'll post it as a separate video so you will be able to see it. So what you need is your rose, okay, and then you need some bear grass. Well, obviously you don't need bear grass, and you could put gyp in instead if you wanted, or even a stem of silver Sussex or a stem of foliage. Personally, I love the bear grass mixed in with the rose. Now, for cutting your length of cellophane, to get the right measurement, okay, just put that out there, that was a lot harder than I thought. To cut the length of cellophane, measure the rose, you know, so when I open the cellophane out that way, right, so measure the length of the rose and then cut the cellophane, and if it's a fraction longer than the rose, that's absolutely fine as well. So I'm finished with the roll, and I'm going to hold that up kind of against me, and that's kind of like the rose, you see, measured against it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this cellophane in half, so about down here. Now obviously when you're doing this in a shop, like you're not taking it up and down off the table, you just keep everything flat. So I'm going to cut this in half. And now basically I have the length of cellophane, or the size of the cellophane that I need. Now because my table is wet because I was working on it, you can see there's a few little dots and dots on that, you know what I mean? So just obviously completely ignore. Now this is where normally when I'm doing this as a class tutorial, I normally get Deirdre to come in real close, but she can't move the cameras at the moment, and one of them is obviously going flat, so if we're a bit shaky at the moment, she's trying to put a charger into one of the phones. Now, how I describe this, you know, that way, and this might sound a bit mad, especially after listening to the leg of tights and so on. Sorry if your phone is shaking at the moment. You're just trying to put the charger into that phone.
It's Facebook. Yeah, there we go.
Facebook one. You're back on again. So this sheet of cellophane, it's a rectangle shape. And I want you to visualise it as being a double bed at home in your own house, right? And depending on whether you sleep on your own or you sleep with someone else, like, you know what I mean, one person is on one side of the bed, supposed to be, and the other person is on the other side of the bed.
Sleeping.
Not doing that now. So yeah, so this one, they're fast asleep. So we have to keep this clean. But you know yourself when you have the bed to yourself, or anybody who owns a double bed. I know myself with my husband, even when he gets up early in the morning, you know, and I have the bed to myself, my head is on one side of the bed and my legs are kind of over the other side of the bed. So basically, if you could think, like when you're positioning the rows, is we're going for the diagonal, okay? That, in other words, that when you're lying on the bed, instead of like that, you know what I mean, you're lying that way, the two of you, he has, I'm going to say he, because my husband has just got out of the bed, my head is on that side, and my legs are gone over to the other side of the other bed. So think of that direction, or that kind of technique when you're positioning the rows, because that's where people go wrong. And when you put your legs over the other side of the bed, did it ever happen to you that your feet stick out under the duvet, right? So when you bring the rose across the piece of cellophane, it sometimes happens that's the end of the rose sticks out past the edge of the cellophane. That's absolutely fine. So that's why I'm using the bed, you know what I mean, as an example. So I lined I lined the bed. I'm laying the cellophane down on the bed, okay? Down on the table. I'm definitely not with it. Bed on the brain now, bed brain. So then I'm going to take, I have a lot of bear grass here, but listen, we'll put all the bear grass in. So I'm going to get a bit of bear grass, a lot of bear grass, and you can see the way I put some kind of on either side of the rows, right? Now the only thing where gyp I find is not great is the gyp sometimes makes it come out too wide, you know, that way. So a lentil greenery sometimes can be better, but you don't want to hide the actual rose head. And I leave some of the foliage on. I'm going to take that one off because it's kind of bent over. But I do leave some of the foliage on the rose because I think it looks a little bit naked looking if it has no leaf on it whatsoever. So back to the bed, okay? My head is on one side of the bed. That's actually the side of the bed I do sleep on. And my legs are over the other side of the bed and they're kind of tucked out over the duvet or under the duvet. Now you probably can't see this. This is when I I do post the close-up video of it. One side of the cellophane is
Just
much,
make sure
much
that the
smaller.
bed, it's not hitting the headboard.
Yeah, you have to make sure that your head is not banging off the headboard, okay? So move down in the bed a little bit, you know, that way down on the pillow, that your head is not banging off the top of the cellophane. One side of the cellophane will have like a small triangle, and the other side of the cellophane, you know, that way under your bum basically, you have a big long piece of cellophane there. It's getting the positioning right. So it's like everything, if you don't get the position right, you're effect. Now you need a bit of sellotape as well, and in a second I'll need a length of ribbon as well for me, Deirdre. So what I'm going to do is I'm grabbing the smaller piece of the cellophane, and you know when you're real cold in bed and you grab the duvet and you bring it right over your shoulder and you tuck it in under your chin and kind of push it in under, that you're like kind of like a hot dog, you know what I mean, that you're really rolled up in the duvet. Think of that with the cellophane, okay? Because this smaller piece of cellophane, I'm going to wrap it over the rose and I'm going to tuck it under the rose, as in tuck it in under the pillow that's wrapped right around it. And it's going to be wide at the top so I can breathe, and it's going to get skinny like my body, obviously. It's going to get skinny and kind of tucked in around my arse and my legs. Think of all these descriptions when you're wrapping this, okay? What are you laughing at?
Sylvia says, my husband is in stitches listening to this. Cherry says, I'm in rocks here.
Okay,
So just before you go on, so you can imagine what it's like in the Bloom room, where we're not public.
no, and I can say whatever I fucking want in the blue room. It's absolutely great. And they can say whatever they want back to me. So we're back to the rose, right? We're lying across the bed. The feet is sticking out under the duvet. The head is not banging off the headboard. We have a small piece of duvet on one side of us. We're bringing it over the rose. We're tucking it out underneath your shoulder, your arm, kind of in under the pillow. It's wide at the top so you can breathe. It's skinny at the bottom, around your arse and your legs, nice and tight. Your feet are sticking out under that duvet, like absolutely freezing. And you know the way we want to grab them back in again. We're going to grab them back in again in a minute, right? And then I'm going to give myself literally like a roll over. So Deirdre's in fucking nuts here. Because whatever you are saying, because I can't see any of the comments, right? So I have me first, I've rolled myself right over, and now I'm going to roll right to the edge. So roll right to the edge, all the way up there, and that's how you get your rose wrapped up in cellophane. Nice and wide at the top, nice and tight at the bottom, and then I'm going to squash it in. Now I forgot about the tube, okay? So now I've described the tube, okay? I think I do that in the live. Can you get the edge of that there for me? Just my hand is a little bit wet. So there is these little water vials or water. You're after putting the cameras off there, so they're not seeing nothing now. So there is little water vials or water tubes that you can put at the end of that rose. You can obviously have water in it and it'll keep it nice and fresh, right? So we're squashed in here at the end. We're going to get a little bit of sellotape and we're going to tuck it around the bottom there. And ideally there could have been a tube there, but because I haven't got a tube, I'm going to get the scissors and I'm going to trim the end of it. Now listen, when you've done all that, and your man said to you, you're absolutely brilliant, Janette, I'm going to reward you, and he's going to give me a little bit of a bow, right? So you can get a length of florist ribbon, and this ribbon tears really easy. So you can tear it into 3 or 4 or whatever width that you want. We're going to get one that's a bit straighter.
Okay, I just have to read.
Okay, what's happening?
Well, they said, now do you know why you have your tights on your head?
I have 2 pairs. The other one is wrapped around his arm. If Tom is watching this, he'd crack up. My husband hates Facebook, doesn't watch any of the lives, and of course when he meets the fellas out on the site, the fellas to be slacking him or ranting that I'm after saying. My husband is from the country and he's a pure innocent country fella. God knows what happened to him when he came up to Dublin.
Helen O'Brien says her husband's never going to know what's going to hit him when I suggest making the bed. Linda says she'll never be able to make single rows again with a straight face.
So you get your rows. Sellotape it down near the end, okay?
They're saying you never finished the bucket. What was the bucket?
What was the bucket? I don't know. Tell me what I was doing
I don't know.
with the bucket. Can't remember. We had a bucket of water spilled over the floor before we started this morning. If you had to see the pandemonium here. So anyway, you have that cut on an angle. Can you see the way it's crooked? And the trick is roll the rose, not roll the ribbon, okay? So keep rolly, and you see the way you kind of get it coming up your ribbon. Now, if you were a flower shop, they'd have a little sticker, Mary's Flower Shop, and they'd stick the little sticker there. But for this one, we haven't got a sticker, okay? So I'm having to use sellotape. But what I'm going to do now is using the scissors, I'm going to curl the ribbon, and then I'm going to, so I get my little curls, and then I'm not sure if you can see this, and then I'm going to split it. And of course, these feckin' false nails, they're gone too long. Okay, I've made a bit of a bag so the splitting, but the idea is that you get a little bit of curly ribbon. Can you see just at the
bring
top
it down a
there,
little bit, yeah.
just to kind of like take away from the sellotape, or again, as I said, you have your little sticker there. You can also make a little bow for the end. Now the bow is a little bit tricky that I'm going to show you. Normally,
Jesus, the numbers are after hopping up.
they're sex mad to this crowd. Can you imagine you're one that has the bottle of Prosecco or the Hendrix gin over
This
in
is
Australia?
it.
So this bow is called 3 loops and a tail. And now it is a tricky bow, okay? So you make 1 loop, and then you make a second loop over to the side so that you get like a V shape. And then you bring the 3rd loop up into the middle of it, so you have 3 loops going in different directions. You fold up the little tail that's left over. You squash in the ends, like pleat them in really tight. And I'm actually going to wrap sellotape. You probably said, geez, she's mad about sellotape. I am. So you get a little bit of sellotape and you wrap it around the end, and you're probably saying, geez, that looks really messy and real untidy. And it does, but bear with me, okay? So there I have squashed it in, do you see, with a bit of sellotape. I'm squeezing the sellotape, and with my finger and my thumb, I'm going to open out the 3 loops. And can you see the way they'll sit in different directions? I have a video of doing this in the blogs, okay? So when you go to the website, flowerschoolisland.com, there's buttons along the top, and one of them says blog, and when you click on that, go down to the one that says about the bows, and then look for the bow that says 3 loops and a tail, and you'll see then how to make that bow. So again, I'm using my nails and I'm curling them up, right? Now this is the trick. Do you see the messy part of cellophane, okay? Or sellotape. I'm going to get one of the loops and I'm going to bend it down on top of the messy part, right? And then I'm going to slide a bit of sellotape in where my finger is, and then I'm going to stick it around the rows. Now ideally a skinny sellotape will do, but we've only got fat sellotape here, right? So I'm getting the fat sellotape, I'm coming in through it, it worked just about. Get in there, you fecker, right? So I have to stick into the feckin' bit of ribbon. Anyway, this is live, so I'm going to take it back out again and go again. And now we're making a mess of me feckin' bowl. So anyway, stick that down there. So we'll go again. As I said, skinny sellotape is much better because you need to come in through it, flatten it down, and of course it's sticking to everything. I'm making a bit of a bag of this, I'll be completely honest, okay? We'll stick it onto the rows. I won't come in too close so that you won't see it, but I have done a better job of it on the actual video tutorial. I'm opening out my loops because my bottom bow is a little bit creased, but sure, hopefully you can see it. And it's just a way of putting a little bow at the end of it. And then like for Valentine's Day, like a lot of shops, now there's different ways. I have little boxes, I just haven't got time today. I have the little black boxes, you know, with the velvet on the inside or satin on the inside, satin sheets on the inside of this one, and I'll show that maybe next week on the Friday live, and I'll also show how to wrap them up in the brown paper, and I have a new romantic jumper for next Friday. So that's all. And listen, are they click and share, Deirdre?
I hope they are. I hope they are.
Listen, I'm not coming on here giving you all my bed antics and bed tricks unless you click share. So click that share button, because that's where you can do us a favour. It helps to build up the analytics. Comment, share, tell your friends about us. What else are you going to say?
And said, what's the name of the long living roses, the roses that you're using?
Red Naomi, but a really, really good one to get as well is also called Freedom, you know that way. So either the Freedom Rose or the Red Naomi roses, in my opinion. There's lots of other roses, good roses out there, and different flowers will have like their own preference. But personally, we would find that they're great, they're both great lasting roses. And you can see that, you know what I mean? Like them roses are over 10 days old at this stage, and they're absolutely perfect, and they're still going to last a long time.
Okay, so just now that we're coming to the end, make sure you go over to Rona's YouTube
So you've loads to do. You have to go over to Outdoor, right, on Instagram and on Facebook, okay, and leave a comment. Even just say, hi Michael, pick me, I love the chocolates, because we have the box of chocolates and we have the big bag of coffee creams. Do you remember them? And you have to send 2 back when you open the bag so that we can taste them. And we also have the couple of hats, so anybody that Deirdre called out for the hats, which were sponsored by Holy Flowers, Flower Power says on the front of them, you're to send us on your name and address, and we'll send the hats out to you. And go over to Rona Cullihan's page, Journey Skincare.
No, the Rona's gastric bypass, but I post the link on Facebook, and we'll post it on YouTube as well.
Okay, so Rona's gastric journey, whatever. And we're going to see her fade away to absolutely nothing, all the way down to a little baby elephant.
Hannah Bright.
Deirdre's had to get a gorgeous elephant.
Oh, wait to see me elephant.
So we have to show you that another day.
have shared this so many times, been concluding since March, and this is the best educational and funny demo. Keep it up.
Well, I think we've done really well today.
Yeah.
So we got our large fish bowl, we got our small fish bowl, we got our Hendrix gin in a gin glass from IKEA. We had our box of, with our bottle of Prosecco from Lidl, our box of chocolates from Outdoor, and we had our single rose. I think we've done really well today.
I think we did, yeah.
So Anya's all learned about tights, and then a few little bed tricks there to just liven up your bedroom antics. So listen, any comments, post them below. We're not going to be liable for anything that happens tonight, just for that husband that's listening. Please mind yourselves. You know, flares can make you a very fertile. We don't want any unwanted pregnancies. If you do, you have to call it Janette if it's a little girl, or Deirdre if you want to. Okay. Listen, thanks a million for joining us. Really enjoyed it. If you only joined in at the end, you have to go back to the very beginning and listen to all the antics from the very beginning. I really appreciate you. Have a fabulous day. Hope the shite weather improves, and join us all next Friday. And actually, Deirdre, are we doing a spring evening one of the evenings? Did you say
We
that?
might, we'll see.
We have something in, because we've loads of spring flowers and we've loads of spring arrangement ideas to show you that are completely different to our spring courses. Listen, best of luck. Goodbye, good luck. See you all. Thanks a million. Bye bye.